Bethune-Cookman takes on Stonybrook, 11 o'clock Eastern tip-off this morning. Bethune-Cookman's -1.5. Total is 146 and a hook, and we're 4-0 in our last 4 NBA tier package plays on my premium page. Cookman averages nearly 80 points a game, doing a nice job shooting it from the field. Jacoby Hetty drills 45% of his 3 balls, 16 points a game for him. And Arterio Morris averages over 14.5 points a game as well. And they're taking on a Stonybrook team who lost 2 out of their last 3, allowed 81 points a game on average during that span. The Seawolves saw overs against Brown, Yale, and Maine. BC with overs in 3 out of their last 5 qualifying ball games themselves. I like Bethune-Cookman -1.5 over 146 and a hook. Next matchup, Towson, Liberty, 12 o'clock East. Liberty's -7, totals 136.5. Liberty's 5-0 on the year, one of the best shooting schools in the country. The Flames are in the top 3 in field goal percentage, making over 45% of their attempts from beyond the arc. Brett Decker's gone 25 of 49 from 3-land this year, 20 points a game for him. Harper and Yates both shoot 60% from 3-land respectively. They're facing a Towson team who failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3 themselves. Failures to cover against the likes of James Madison and Norfolk State. I like Liberty -7 over 136.5. Notre Dame, Rutgers, 1 o'clock East. Notre Dame's -7, totals 143.5. Now the Irish are facing a 4-2 Rutgers squad who's done some good things on defense. The Scarlet Knights are limiting opposing teams to just 40% shooting from the field. They're also doing a nice job staying out of foul trouble, holding opposing teams to just 11 made free throws a game, and they're facing a Notre Dame squad who failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4. Failures to cover against the likes of Bellarmine and Eastern Illinois. The Irish also saw overs this year against Detroit and Long Island. 4 out of Rutgers' last 5 got over the line themselves. Give me Rutgers +7 over 143.5. Iowa State, Creighton, 2 o'clock East. The Cyclones are -8, totals 151.5. ISU's 5-0 on the year, top 5 in the country in field goals made. Milan Momcilovic is shooting 46% from 3-land, still perfect from the stripe. Jefferson and Lipsy are both averaging 18 points a game respectively. And they're facing a Creighton squad who certainly had their issues on the defensive end of the floor. They're in the bottom 20 in field goals allowed. Now, total-wise, Iowa State with overs in their last 4 straight. Overs against the likes of St. John's, Mississippi State, and Grambling. Give me Iowa State -8 over 151.5. NC State, Boise State, 2:30 Eastern start. NC State's -6, totals 150.5. The Wolfpack's 4-1 on the year, winning record against the point spread. When it comes to offensive production, these guys are averaging over a dozen made 3 balls a game, top 20 in the nation in 3-point percentage. Darian Williams makes 60% of his long balls, 21 points a game. Holloman and Copeland are making well over 50% of their 3 balls combined. They're taking on a Boise team who failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3 themselves. Failures to cover against the likes of Wichita State and Montana State. When it comes to the total, NC State saw overs in all of their contests except 1. Give me the Wolfpack -6 over 150.5. Syracuse, Kansas, 3:30 Eastern start. Kansas is -4.5. Total is 147.5 points. And both squads doing some real good stuff on the defensive end of the floor. For Kansas, they're in the top 10 in guarding the 3 ball, holding opposing shooters to just 37% from the field. Meanwhile, it's Syracuse on the other side, who actually leads the country in defensive field goal percentage themselves, 27% from downtown. Syracuse with unders in 3 out of their last 5. Kansas with unders in all of their contests this year except 1. I like the under 147.5. Can't give you a freebie on that one. Baylor, St. John's, 4:30 East. St. John's is -4.5. Total is 162 and a hook. And these are two teams who've done some real nice stuff on the offensive end of the floor. St. John's is in the top 10 in the nation in field goals made per game. Top 15 in offensive rebounds. Doing a great job getting second chances. Bryce Hopkins, team leader in points. Zuby Ejiofor, 60% from the field, 50 points a night. And they're facing a Baylor squad who's had little problems getting to the rack themselves. They're in the top 10 in field goals made per game. Cameron Carr makes 60% of his field goals, 23 points a game for him. And Tunde Yesufu, averaging 15 points per contest himself. Baylor with overs in 3 out of their last 4. Johnny's with overs against Iowa State, Alabama, and Quinnipiac. When it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my Gold Club tier package play on my premium page. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, I like the over 162.5. Seton Hall, USC, 5 o'clock East. Southern Cal's -7, totals 146.5. USC's 5-0 in the year, doing some good stuff on defense. They're holding their competition to just 37% from the field, top 35 in guarding the 3-ball. And they're facing a Seton Hall team who makes just 6 3-pointers a game. They rank 314th in field goals. When it comes to the point spread, the Pirates did fail to cover in 3 out of their last 5. Now, total-wise, Seton Hall with unders against Monmouth, Wagner, and St. Peter's. USC with unders in 3 out of their last 5. I like USC -7, under 146.5. Tennessee, Houston, 6 o'clock East. Houston's -3, totals 134.5. Both squads are 6-0 on the year, doing some great stuff on defense. The Cougs allow just 56 points a game, top 10 in fewest field goals allowed. Meanwhile, the Volunteers on the other side, well, they do a nice job of rebounding on defense, limiting opposing teams to just 34% shooting from the field. Vols with unders against Tennessee State and Mercer. Houston with unders in 3 out of their last 6. When it comes to a winner, this game is being featured as my college basketball tier membership play on my premium page. But as far as a free pick, give me the under 134.5. Kansas State, Indiana, going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern start. Indiana is -9, totals 159.5. The Hoosiers are 5-0 in the year, winning record against the point spread. And he's averaging nearly 90 points a game, and I'll tell you what, they rarely turn it over. Not a whole lot of mistakes. Top 15 in the country in fewest turnovers a game on offense. Tucker DeVries leads the roster in scoring, 46% from downtown. Lamar Wilkerson's making 44% of his 3-pointers himself, 17 points a game as well. They're facing a Kansas State squad who's definitely had some issues on defense. They're allowing 80 points a game, 297th in defensive field goal percentage. When it comes to the number, the Wildcats failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5. When it comes to the total, K-State with overs in every single one of their contests. Indiana with overs in 3 out of their last 5. Give me the Hoosiers -9, over 159.5. Michigan, Auburn, 8:30 East. Michigan's 3.5, totals 159 and a hook. Michigan with overs recently against Wake Forest and Oakland. Auburn with overs in all of their games this season themselves. And it should come as no surprise, both schools are doing some good stuff on offense. You know, for Auburn, they're averaging 92 points a game, 50% shooting from the field. Keyshawn Hall's team leader in scoring, 44% from three-land, 93% from the stripe. And Tahad Pettiford's averaging 13 points a game as well. Meanwhile, for Michigan on the other side, well, these guys have definitely shot well from the stripe, nearly 51% from the field as well. Yaxel Lendeborg leads the squad in scoring. Borez Johnson with 13 points a game, 60% from the field. When it comes to a winner, this game's being featured as today's daily best play on the premium page. But as far as a free pick, I like the over 159.5. Maryland, Gonzaga, 9:30 Eastern start. And for whatever reason, not listed on the big screen, that's a violation. Anyway, Gonzaga's -13, totals 155.5. Gonzaga 6-0 on the year, covered the number in all of those contests except one. The Zags allowed just 62 points per contest, top 25 in defensive turnovers. And no real surprise, the Bulldogs are limiting opposing programs to just 35% shooting from the field. And that's certainly bad news for a Maryland squad who's had some problems getting to the cup. The Terrapins are in the bottom 25 in field goals made. When it comes to the point spread, the Terps failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6. Maryland with unders recently against UNLV and Georgetown. Gonzaga saw unders in 4 out of their last 6. Give me Gonzaga minus 13, under 155.5. Ole Miss, Iowa, 9:30 East. Iowa's 2.5. Totals 146 and a hook. The Hawkeyes are 5-0 on the year, successfully covered in all of those contests except one. At the moment, the Hawkeyes are the best field goal shooting team in the nation. They're drilling nearly 58% of their attempts from the field. Bennett Sturts leads the team in scoring, 45% from downtown. Alvaro Folgueras, he's averaging a dozen points a game himself, 52% from beyond the arc. And even though this is a super short number, the Ole Miss Rebels have definitely, struggled covering the point spread. They failed to cover in their last 4 straight. We're talking about, failures to cover against the likes of Austin Peay, Cal State Bakersfield, and UL Monroe. When it comes to the total, both schools with overs in 4 out of their last 5, respectively. I like Iowa minus 2.5, over 146.5 points. Maryland Gonzaga? Yeah, they had it up there. I just missed it. Weird. Anyway, UCLA, Cal, 10 o'clock East. UCLA's minus 8.5. Total is 142 and a hook. And I'll tell you what, both squads are 5-1 on the year, but it's actually UCLA who's struggled against the point spread. The Bruins are just 2-4 against the number. Really, they have not rebounded great on offense. And they're facing a Cal team who covered the point spread in 3 out of their last 4 themselves. Doing a nice job on the defensive end of the floor. They're holding their opponents to just 39% from the field. They really don't send a whole lot of shooters to the foul line. When it comes to the total, both schools with unders in 4 out of their last 6, respectively. I like Cal plus 8.5, under 142 and a hook. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Oregon, San Diego State, 11 o'clock Eastern start. Oregon's minus 3, totals 143.5. And even though Oregon's 4-1 on the year, they did fail to cover the point spread in every single one of those games. The Ducks have had significant issues on offense. They're shooting just 39% from the field, bottom 10 in field goals made. They're facing a San Diego State squad who forces a considerable amount of turnovers on defense. Definitely doing a nice job defending the field. Aztecs with unders in 3 out of their last 4. Oregon with unders against Rice and Hawaii. I like San Diego State plus 3, under 143.5. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like BETH-COOK minus 1.5, over 146.5 points. Liberty minus 7, over 136.5. We're 4-0 in our last 4 NBA tier package plays on my premium page. Rutgers plus 7, over 143.5. Michigan State minus 22, under 145. Pacific minus 4, over 139. Delaware plus 1.5, under 146. San Jose State plus 7, over 151. Iowa State minus 8, over 151.5. NC State minus 6, over 150 and a hook. Vermont plus 5.5, over 147. Georgia State plus 5, under 151. I like the under 147.5 in that Syracuse-Kansas matchup. UAB minus 7, over 148. Northern Iowa minus 8, under 135. Give me the over 162.5 in that Baylor-St. John's game. Kennesaw State minus 7, over 173. Loyola Marymount minus 5, over 145. UC San Diego plus 1, over 147. USC minus 7, under 146.5. McNeese State minus 7, over 150. Morgan State plus 8, under 150. St. Bonaventure plus 11.5, under 153. Give me the under 134.5 in that Tennessee-Houston game. Utah Valley +1 over 152. William and Mary -1.5 under 146. Mount St. Mary's +27.5 under 147. UNC Asheville -6 over 154. Cal Baptist -6.5 under 149. Florida State -23 under 158. James Madison -2 over 160. Central Florida -13 over 163. Marist -7 under 130. Campbell +18 over 156. Penn State -14 over 144. Old Dominion +20 over 145. Florida Gulf Coast -5 over 153. Coppin State +10 under 142. South Carolina Upstate -5.5 under 152. Purdue Fort Wayne -11 over 150. Wright State -8 over 150. Maryland Eastern Shore +2 under 128. George Mason -5 under 152. Princeton +8 over 149. Eastern Illinois +4 under 139. George Washington -7 over 169. We're going to take Washington State against the point spread. Number has not come out yet, but I think whether they're laying points or catching them, I think Wazoo's going to do a nice job in this spot. Southeast Missouri State +3 over 168. Eastern Washington +12.5 over 141. Northern Illinois +8 over 147. Mississippi Valley State +43 over 153. Indiana -9 over 159.5. Missouri -33 over 161. Nebraska -16 over 166. UC Irvine -4 over 141. Give me the over 159.5 in that Michigan-Auburn game. Texas San Antonio +2 under 161. Montana -1.5 over 164. Portland State +1 over 148. Gonzaga -13 under 155.5. Iowa -2.5 over 146.5 points. Cal Golden Bears +8.5 under 142 and a hook. Give me San Diego State +3 under 143.5. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.